What's up guys, Blake here with VaporAuthority.com, and today guys I want to take a look at the Smok TFV12 Prince coils, but before we do that we need to talk about how popular this tank has become. Now you guys know the TFV series that's provided by Smok has become one that's very popular. Each tank that they've released in the series has become super popular due to its many features. For an example, it's got a top fill design, it's got adjustable airflow control, and throughout the many editions of the Prince tank, you'll also enjoy a large e-liquid capacity. Now, we know that there are many features with the Prince tank, and we know that these features allow us to vape more enjoyable, but the biggest part about the Prince tank has to be the coil options that's provided. Now, with the TFV12 Prince tank, there are many different coil options for you guys to take advantage of, and today, guys, I want you to see just how many options there are, see the differences in them, the wattage amounts, and overall just get a clear view of these coil options for the TFV12 Prince tank so that you can decide for yourself which one will fit you best. So with that said guys, let's go ahead and dive down and take a close-up look at the TFV12 Prince replacement coils. Alright, so what's up guys? We are now looking at a close-up of the coils that we're going to be looking at today. And in total, guys, we're going to be looking at 8 different coil options for the V12 Prince tank. So the first coil that we're going to be looking at is the V12 Prince Q4 coil. As you can see, is a decently sized coil head. There are plenty of wicking slots throughout this coil head. And this coil in particular is a quadruple coil. Now, if you look closely, you can see that quadruple coil inside. And then printed on the back side of this coil, it gives you a little more information on the coil head. Now this coil head in particular, you can see is a 0.4 ohm coil. It's rated from 40 to 100 watts, and Smok says it is best at 60 to 80 watts. Next we have the V12 Prince T10 coil. This one, like many of the others, is a reasonably size. It's got plenty of wicking slots throughout. And this one actually is a decuple coil. Now with this coil in particular, guys, you'll see that there are 5 different coil structures. And each one of those coil structures are dual coils. So in total, it's like saying you have 10 coils. Now, this one, like all the others, uses Japanese organic cotton. And this Prince T10 coil is a 0.12 ohm coil. It's rated from 60 to 120 watts. However, Smok says it is best at 80 to 110 watts. Next, we have the V12 Prince M4 coil head. Again, there are many different slots throughout this coil head. It of course uses Japanese organic cotton, and this one in particular is a quadruple coil head. Now if we look on the back, this is a 0.17 ohm coil. It's got a rating of 30 to 70 watts, but Smok says it is best from 40 to 60 watts. Next we have the V12 Prince X6 coil. We got plenty of wicking slots again. It uses Japanese organic cotton, and this one happens to be a sextuple coil head. Now if you look closely at the coil, you can see 3 strands of wire on each. So what Smok's hinting at here is that there are 6 different coils. Now as you can see, they're in a vertical structure, and then printed on the back side it says it's 0.15 ohms. It is rated at 50 to 120 watts. However, Smok says it is best at 80 to 100 watts. Alright guys, now we're looking at the V12 Prince Max Mesh coil. Looking around the coil head, there are plenty of wicking slots and they are very huge. You have ample room for your e-liquid to get to those wicking slots, and it uses Japanese organic cotton. Now, as the name Max Mesh implies, this is a mesh coil head. And then printed on the back, you can see that it's a 0.17 ohm coil. It is rated from 80 to 130 watts. However, Smok says it is best using it at 90 to 110 watts. Alright, so next up guys, we have the V12 Prince Triple Mesh Coil. As you can see here, it's got an interesting design for the wicking slots, and they are throughout the coil, and it does use organic cotton. Now, like the name implies, this is a triple mesh coil, so you have 3 different coils that are made of mesh. And then printed on the back side here, it says 0.15 ohms. It is rated from 80 to 130 watts, but Smok says it is best at 100 to 120 watts. Yet another interesting design, we have the V12 Prince Dual Mesh Coil. Here are the different wicking slots. It uses Japanese organic cotton, and here are those dual mesh coils. Looking on the back side, it says that it's a 0.2 ohm coil, is rated from 50 to 80 watts, and then Smok says it is best at 65 to 75 watts. The last one we have here for you guys is the V12 Prince X2 Clapton. Now, as you would expect, this basically just means there are two different Clapton coils inside this coil head. It has a vertical structure, and if you look closely, you can see those Clapton coils. Now on this one, there are plenty of different wicking slots. It uses Japanese organic cotton. But if we look on the backside, guys, it's printed that it's a 0.4 ohm coil. It's rated from 40 to 80 watts, but Smok says it is best at 60 to 70 watts. Alright guys, so there we have it, bunch of different coils. Let's take it up some FaceTime and see how well these things perform. Alright guys, welcome back. You just got a close-up view of the TFV12 Prince coil options, and there are many to choose from. From mesh coils to dual coils to quadruple coils, there are plenty of different coil options for you guys to choose from, and each one will essentially provide a different experience. So right now guys, I want to go ahead and take this time to show you guys how well these different coil options perform when they're inside of the TFV12 Prince tank, and then you can make your determination on which one is going to be best for you. So first up guys, we had the V12 Prince Q4 coil. Now this coil is a quadruple coil. It has a 0.4 ohm resistance and is best rated at 60 to 80 watts. So first up guys, we're going to do, let's say 65 watts. All right, so here we go with the Q4 coil. So as you can see guys, you get plenty of vapor production. I can tell you right now that the flavor is definitely on point. But what I enjoy most about this coil is that it's got a wide open airflow to it. So if you're looking for one of those airy vapes, the Q4 coil just might be the coil for you. All right guys, so next up we have the V12 Prince M4 coil. Now this is a larger diameter quadruple coil and it has a 0.17 ohm resistance. Now it's rated for 40 to 60 watts, so we're going to keep it at about 50 watts guys, and I'll show you how well this one performs. So here we go with the M4. Alright guys, so with the M4 coil, you're going to get, it still has somewhat of a wide open airflow, not as much, but it does have that quadruple coil, so you are going to get some nice performance. It really depends on how high in wattage you go with this coil, but ultimately, as you've seen guys, you're going to get plenty of vapor production and the flavor is pretty spot on as well. Alright guys, so now I have loaded up the T10 coil. Now this coil guys is rated for 80 to 110 watts. This one's going to be a monster. If you're looking for some wide open airflow, this one's going to be it. So here we go. I'm at 90 watts. Woo. Okay, so this one's going to be a monster. So as you can see, and probably here also, there's a huge difference between, say, those quadruple coils like the M4 or the Q4. This one right here is going to be a little bit more in your face. Not only are you going higher in wattage, but also the way this coil works is that it was designed to produce more vapor and better flavor. And it does just that. So here we go again. I'm going to leave it at 90 watts. Here we go. Alright guys, so next up we have the X6 coil, and this is another coil option that I think you'll enjoy. This one is 0.15 ohms and it's rated from 80 to 110 watts, or actually 80 to 100 watts. So let's see how this one performs. Now the X6 coil, it's still a little bit in your face, but the output is just a little bit smoother to me. So you'll get basically like a smoother draw. You'll get still tons of vapor and the flavor is definitely on point. Now guys, next up we have the X2 Clapton coil. This one is 0.4 ohms and is rated for 60 to 70 watts. This one also, just like many other coil options you'll see here, there's plenty of airflow that's going through these coils, and that's how you get that good flavor and good vapor production. So here we go guys at 70 watts. Now I know it's only 0.4 ohms, but when you have the wattage that high at 0.4 ohms, you're going to get an in-your-face vape. Combine that with the wide open airflow and you're destined for good flavor and good vapor. All right guys, so next I have loaded up the triple mesh coil, and this coil is 0.15 ohms and it is rated at 100 to 120 watts. So we're going to be ramping this one up quite a bit. Now on the box, guys, they say that this one has super strong power and super large clouds. So let's see if that's true. Here we go. 100 watts. Definitely true. Now the big difference here, yes, all the Smok coils are powerful and all of them have pretty much an incredible vapor production. The great thing about this triple mesh coil in particular is that not only do you get that good vapor production, but you're going to get an extreme amount of flavor since it's a mesh coil. So here we go again, guys. Alright guys, so another one we have here is the V12 Prince dual mesh coil. Now the dual mesh coil is probably going to be similar to the triple mesh coil. The only big difference is the resistance and obviously the wattage that you can range up to. Now this one is 0.2 ohms and it's rated for 65 to 75 watts. So obviously with the lower wattage and the less amount of coils, you can expect the performance to be not as good, but again, a good vapor production as well as flavor, being it's a mesh coil. So here we go, guys. Obviously you can tell in the change of sound as well as vapor production that there is a huge difference between these two. Now the one good thing about this dual mesh coil is that it still has great flavor due to it being a mesh coil. You'll notice a lot of these different mesh coils, they just provide great flavor. As you can see, guys, my office is getting super cloudy from all these different coil options. But guys, I definitely wanted to show you all of them so you can see what you're missing out on. So now, guys, for the last one I have for you is the V12 Prince Max Mesh Coil. And this one is the big daddy of all of them. This one right here is known for the gigantic clouds that it can produce. And it's also known for the incredible flavor. So this coil has a 0.17 ohm resistance, and you can max it out at 90 to 110 watts. But really, guys, this one is not about the power output that you push to this coil. Now, if you look back where I showed you the max mesh coil, it's got a wide diameter with that mesh, and the wicking slots are super huge. So everything about this coil is very huge, and you can expect to get some good clouds out of that. So here we go, guys. Now keep in mind, guys, I'm at 90 watts. This is 0.17 ohms. And this is just a nice smooth vape that just happens to throw out some monstrous clouds and great flavor. So here we go again. Alright guys, so I'm pretty much done fogging up my office now. You've seen all the different coil options for the TFV12 Prince tank, and you can see that there are different options for different tastes. Maybe you like the older style of the Q4 coil, or maybe you like this new Max Mesh coil that has incredible flavor. But just know, guys, no matter what you choose, you're going to get an awesome experience from each one of these different coil options. As always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, vape on.